Stress Test by Jay Wilburn. Josh Wilkes registered for his outpatient procedure at 7 o'clock sharp with his wife by his side. She never seemed to leave him over the past week of off and on chest pain. All right. Okay. Registered for his 7:30 a.m. outpatient procedure at 7 o'clock sharp with his wife by his side. She never seemed to leave him over the past week of off and on, let me put that, dashes, off and on chest pain. This would not be the last time he registered today, but this would not be the last time he registered today, but he would not leave the hospital alive today either. Everyone wore masks, and the chairs were roughly 6 feet apart from each other. I'll say Josh. Josh didn't really care if they found, say if they got answers today. He just wanted to get out of here. Armand, I made it. All is well. I am here. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Everybody, we won't be stopping after 5 minutes now because Armand is here. As I was saying, Armand, I'm going to do one story today, one block, and I may or may not finish it depending on how I feel. Tomorrow I'll take longer to work on the stories, of course, but today is just a warm-up run, I think. He just wanted to get out of here before he caught one of the virus variants harassing the world this year. They led him back, and his wife reluctantly stayed in the radiology waiting room as Josh went on to get injected with the radioactive tracer dye. It came in a metal tube, like the plutonium in Back to the Future. All right. Josh felt silly sitting in a smaller room with people easily 20 or 30 years his senior. If this was what 50 felt like, alright, let me get rid of that stray 7 that I got there for no reason. If this is what 50 felt like, he was doomed. Not to mention, he was wasting his time because it had to be a gut thing. No one had chest pain for a week and went on living. If it was heart stuff. He got on the treadmill. No, let's say he got his initial scans, was hooked up with leads, and then started walking on the treadmill. He clutched his chest within the first few seconds, but he could see the EKG from where he walked, and there was zero change. His heart fluttered once, and then again. Not a blip from the machine. It felt like his heart skipped a few beats. Okay, let me fix a typo there real quick. Felt like his heart skipped a few beats. And pain turned into a crushing weight. But no signal there was anything wrong. So he kept walking. Had to be a gut thing. Maybe that hernia that came up from your stomach. He couldn't recall the name. Alright, he couldn't recall the name. But he also had no gut issues. Everything was working smooth and solid. Every gut problem he looked up, the only symptom he felt, the only symptom he had was pain, and it was mostly in the wrong place. As they led Josh to the final blood flow. As they led Josh to the final blood flow scan, his heart throbbed. His heart throbbed with agony. They pulled him up from the table quickly and had him remove his leads. They pulled him up from the table quickly and had him remove his leads in the bathroom. He held the wall for balance. As soon as he stepped out, they already had someone else on the table. Before he could catch his breath, a volunteer old enough to be his dad led him up the hallway. The guy was spry compared to how Josh hobbled and wavered from side to side behind him, unobserved. Darkness closed in from the edges of his vision, and Josh mumbled, "I don't feel so good." If he was heard, the guy never turned around before the world went black. Josh Wilkes sucked in air. I should probably do a break here. I'm going to have to do breaks anytime we leave a scene, I think. Otherwise it's going to get confusing. Alright. Josh Wilkes sucked in air as he sat back up in a leather chair with arms. Across from him, a guy in a brown suit with a long beard shuffled through papers on his desk. What happened? There was no pain in his chest, at least. Where's my wife? She's back there, and soon you'll be here, the man said. Say without looking up. The fellow the fellow's brown suit was striped. It was all the same color, but shiny material alternated with matte brown to form the stripes in the low light. His beard was combed straight and neat. It had to be treated with beard oil. The guy wore one of those old-time rounded hats. Josh couldn't remember the name of it. He also, let's say the chain to a gold pocket watch looped up into the vest pocket of his suit. Josh expected him to pull it out and claim, let's say half expected. Josh half expected him to pull it out and claim he was late for a very important date. Josh started to ask again, where's my... Then he noticed this office setup sat in the middle of a massive factory floor. No, let's keep that going. Level after level of catwalks, climbed walls that rose into what would be the sky if this weren't a closed room. Okay, I did not even get close to spelling level correctly, so let's do that. Level after level of catwalks, climbing walls that rose into what would be the sky if this weren't a closed room. Massive machines, pistons, and pump arms worked with a steady rolling hum. He smelled oil. He felt passing heat. All the things that denied this was a dream. But there was no factory this large, and no explanation for him to wake up in a leather chair in the middle of one. This looked like the hull, like the engine room of an impossible ship. Maybe some sort of comic book dreadnought. There's no way I spelled that right, but we'll see what happens. Oh, there you go. What the hell? You're not fully here yet, Mr. Wilkes, but we can get started on the paperwork while we wait. Wait for what? He still couldn't pull his eyes away from the massive machine works. Massive machine works and the tiny people. The tiny people going about their business miles away on the catwalks. For you to finish crossing over. Josh whipped his head forward and his heart gave another of those flutters, but without the pain. Crossing over, you mean dead? That's what I mean. I'm dead. This is the afterlife. You're not finished expiring yet, but you wouldn't be here if it weren't in the offing, Mr. Wilkes. Damn it, Josh breathed. It was just supposed to be a stress test. Outpatient. Oh, his poor wife. Their kids. There's nothing that can be done. Nothing at all. Nothing by you. Before Josh could respond, the world, this version of it, vibrated into a blur. It came with crushing chest pain. It came with crushing chest pain. Then everything returned to focus, along with the machine noises and dirty lubricant smells. Say odors. The fellow across from him held his own chest for a moment before returning to the papers. So he felt it too. Is this heaven? The guy gave a non-committal sound in the back of his throat. Hell? I'm in hell? No, nothing like that. You have several options once you're fully over, but we can't discuss all that until then. We have a lot of intake to get through, though. Are you ready? No, I'm not. If I'm not dead yet, I want to go back. You can't. Hey, thank you for the Brazil vibes. Appreciate it. You can't, the man said. It's not up to you. And everyone goes through that pulse of blurred pain rolled through the factory and office area again. This time Josh got a sense that everything was being partially erased. What is that? Are they shocking my chest? No. The guy shuffled some papers. Let's see. They are rolling you in a wheelchair to the ER. I'm dead in it. My heart stopped. No, not yet. You're mumbling about it being a gut thing. I'm still talking. I'm still alive. Yes, Mr. Wilkes. But you wouldn't be here if... Okay, let me have him interrupt. If... And then we'll do M dash. Alright. You wouldn't be here if... Where is here? Who are you? This is after. Registration for after. I'm Cassengale. Cassengale. Are you an angel? Another of those non-committal noises. Okay, if I'm still talking over wherever, then I'm still alive. Technically, but I'm telling you this is where it ends. They'll fix me in the ER. I'm already in the hospital. Look, Mr. Wilkes. Everyone has adjustments to after. But everyone goes to after. Eventually. You're on your way. But I'm on my way to the ER. Cassengale. True enough, sir. But I'm telling you, they are as backed up as we are with that virus. I just had a test. They'll find what's wrong. Cassengale shuffled some papers. And tapped on one. You have a blocked lad. What does that mean? It means they won't find it in time. They are swamped, and you'll be sitting there too long. So you know when I'll finish dying, Cassangale. Another non-committal grunt. No, you answer me. When does it finish? When does it end? I don't predict the future, Mr. Wilkes. I just do intake, and that's why you're here. So they could fix it. So very unlikely. But if I go back and tell them it's this lad thing, they'll know and fix it in time. Okay. That's not quite how. And then we'll do another M dash. Crushing pain. Blurred out world. Cassangale clutched his chest and his desk as things return to focus. Oh, Mr. Wilkes, I wish you'd stop doing that. Wait, I'm doing that? Is that me trying to get back? I don't want to encourage this sort of false hope. Josh stood and leaned over the desk. I can fight my way back. If I'm still there, then I can fight it. Is that it? Listen, you need to accept but he didn't. The next wave of blurry agony tore him from the factory floor. Let's do this. All right. let's say, Josh Wilkes slowly blinked back in to find himself in a wheelchair in a packed ER. The pain was not as bad as it had been. He started to stand. But his wife beside him clutched his arm, and the dizziness did the rest, keeping him planted. I didn't make up a name for the wife here. What happened? What's the name of the wife? Lucy. What happened, Lucy? You blacked out a couple times. Kept saying you didn't feel good. You got into the chair out of protest. You complained all the way up the hall. And now we're here. Josh looked about like he was trying to find a particular face in the growing crowd. Everyone wore masks, and besides his wife, they were all strangers.